Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thank you so much for tuning in here on Tuesday, January 14th. Your Jacksonville Jaguars, they wrapped up their interview with former Jets head coach, former 49ers defensive coordinator, former Jaguars linebackers coach, Robert Saleh today. We talked about that interview earlier on today. Right now, we're taking a look at more the personnel side, talking about how the Jaguars can fix their offensive line issues that they've had, and what are the issues that they've really had. I mean, primarily, it has not been pass protection, although I will say, I think that the pass protection from the offensive line standpoint has been aided by Trevor Lawrence's willingness and ability to get the ball out quickly. I think if they had a quarterback that held onto the ball a little bit longer, you'd probably have some situations where you're seeing more pressures and more sacks allowed, which you can say that about any team. But I don't think that maybe they've been great in pass protection. I think that they've been pretty good overall. Now, in the run game, the offensive line has struggled. I think part of that definitely falls on personnel. Part of that falls on coaching as well. Scheming it up, they've been poor. And then you can also somewhat blame the running backs as well, like fumbling issues, not finding the right hole, not hitting the right hole, not running with the right pace, the right vision, all these things. And again, I'm not just blaming the running backs. Like, the offensive line has had their issues with the running game, no doubt. I think it's coaching. I think it's personnel. I think it's the running backs too. So it's all those things combined. So we're going to talk about fixing that offensive line, trying to help the running game get going, and upgrading pass protection at the same time. Can be easier said than done, but there are plenty of avenues for the Jaguars to take to really upgrade this offensive line this offseason, mostly on the interior, right? You've got your 2 tackles set in stone. We're going to talk about it. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. A lot of folks out there are watching and not subscribing. Please hit that subscribe button if you enjoy the content. You can also check out genjag.com/shop. Today we have our winter sale going on. 50% off everything with code Duval, 3 U's, DUUUVAL. 50% off everything at genjag.com/shop, like the hat I'm wearing right now, a bunch of other fun stuff. Check it out. So I think the Jaguars need some youth on their offensive line. When you've looked at the interior over the last several years, it's obviously Luke Fortner they drafted and tried to develop. It didn't work out, so they had to replace him with a free agent. They signed Brandon Sheriff a few years back. They signed Ezra Cleveland, obviously ahead of the 2024 campaign. They had traded for him in 2023. So they haven't really drafted and developed very well on the interior of the offensive line. At tackle, you have Walker Little, who you drafted. Nice hit, Trent Baalke. Took you long enough to get him in the lineup. Maybe you just blame that on the coaching, right? But if you're trying to blame it on the coaching, then why did you extend Cam Robinson the year after you drafted Walker Little? That's on you, Trent. Bottom line. And then at right tackle, Anton Harrison, another great draft pick in my opinion. Big fan. Both of those guys are very good in pass pro. I think that Walker Little is better as a run blocker right now, but Anton had some peaks. He had some really nice games as a run blocker, and I think that he's headed in the right direction overall. I think he's definitely working towards becoming a complete tackle. Still got a little ways to get there, but I like the tackle duo. Young, good length, good size, right? There's not much to complain about. Now, when it comes to tackle depth, Javon Foster, I think, needs to show a lot more. And maybe some of these guys you talk about picking up could have some tackle versatility, some flexibility on the offensive line. If there's an injury, you could kick somebody out, like you've seen some teams do. Obviously, the Chiefs are doing that with Joe Thuney, who used to play tackle. Looking at how this interior offensive line, though, is going to shape out, because you've got your 2 starters outside at tackle. Brandon Sheriff, expiring contract, 33 years old, or going to be 33 years old. So I think he's probably done in Jacksonville, quite honestly. I don't see that continuing on here. He struggled in the run game. Still a very good pass protector. I think if he wants to, he'll be playing somewhere next year. Maybe better coaching would lead to him being more effective in the run game. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it hasn't worked out so far in that regard in Jacksonville. Mitch Morse, he's going to be 33 as well. He's on the final year of his deal heading into 2025, so he can be your starter next year, definitely entering the season. But you probably need to figure out a succession plan for that as well. Luke Fortner is not the answer. And then Ezra Cleveland, you just signed him before the 2024 season, but the way the Jaguars structure deals, it was a 3-year deal, and they could move on after 2025 and save $5.7 million against the cap. But I do like Ezra Cleveland, and he's still young. I mean, he's entering the prime of his career right now. He should be playing for a long time. He's a good athlete. He's a physical run blocker, pretty good pass protector. Overall, like I'm good with Ezra Cleveland being there. Could they upgrade Ezra Cleveland? Yeah, certainly. But to me, he's a good starting guard in this league. So how do you upgrade? Free agency and the draft. That's how you get it done, obviously. Looking at free agency, there's a number of ways they can upgrade. I mean, the big swing and the Jaguars, I think, Trevor Lawrence talked about needing to be able to run the ball. I think you've talked about physicality with this football team the last couple years. You want to get more physical. I mean, Trey Smith is the answer from the Kansas City Chiefs. He's huge. He's a good pass protector. He's a great run blocker. That's the type of guy that can be a tone setter, a game changer on the interior of the offensive line for that run game, without a doubt. And I think he's going to reset the market at guard probably, or set the market. Probably looking at 22-ish million for Trey Smith in my estimation. So that would be a huge swing. The Jaguars are going to have plenty of cap space, and you look at a Trey Smith contract for $22 million, you're probably talking about 40%-ish of that being a year one cap hit. So, is that like $9 million, something like that? So they can certainly afford it if they want to go get a Trey Smith, and he's young, going into his second contract. Chiefs probably want to try to keep him around, but they've also got other issues to deal with. I mean, they need to fix left tackle. They need maybe keep Joe Thuney, or are they deciding between Joe Thuney and Trey Smith? I don't know. They've got a lot going on, so they'll be looking to figure that out. But if Trey Smith hits the open market, you're looking at him. Tevin Jenkins, somebody I loved in the draft a couple years ago. He's turned out to be a really good football player for the Chicago Bears. I remember in my redraft, right after that draft, what was it, 2021, I believe. Tevin Jenkins is the guy I took in the second round for the Jaguars, and that would have been a nice pickup, no doubt about it. He's physical, he's mean, very nice looking guy. Like you see his picture, and you think this guy, there's no way this guy plays the way he does on the football field. But Tevin Jenkins is he's a mauler out there. Very big physical athlete. So he'd be a lot of fun at guard as well. I think that he's probably in line to be the second highest paid guard in free agency. James Daniels is an interesting one because he has some guard center versatility, but he's going to be coming off an Achilles. So who knows? Still a very young player, good football player, athlete, guard center versatility, but that injury is scary. Mekhi Becton went to Philly this year, has played guard. I still think he's a bit of a liability in pass pro. He's big and physical and athletic, though. So you could do worse if you're just trying to upgrade that run game. Kevin Zeitler, I mean, he's older than Brandon Sheriff and Mitch Morse, so I don't think that that's your long-term play. If you wanted to sign Zeitler and then really hit it in the draft as well, you could. And he's still a good football player. I mean, he's more physical and better at the point of attack than you have from Brandon Sheriff the last couple years. Will Fries has become a good player. I think he's going to get paid a little bit here in free agency. It's funny because I remember a couple years back looking at Will Fries, Jags Colts matchups. It was like, all right, that's a matchup we want to exploit. But he's developed in that Colts system, and so maybe you look at it and you say he's a product of Shane Steichen and the rest of the talent around him. That's possible. I wouldn't be swinging for the fences with Will Fries. And then if you're talking about a center, Drew Dahlman from the Falcons, he's interesting. He's young, But to me, I wouldn't be going all in on signing him. I'd be looking more towards getting a versatile guy like that can play guard or center, probably in the draft. I probably wouldn't be signing a center here. It's just not a robust center market this year. So we'll talk about the draft, but first, got to remind y'all about Underdog Fantasy. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward. Signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code DuvalDaily, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Looking at the divisional round of the playoffs, maybe you want to take a running back, score a touchdown. Underdog has Vulture Protection to rescue your pick'em. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code DuvalDaily to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Arizona 1-800-NEXT-STEP. That's 1-800-639-8783. Or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Or text HOPE-NY 467-369. So, looking at the draft, the options the Jaguars have in the draft, in the first couple days to really try to upgrade here, some of the best options in my mind. Will Campbell, if you want to sit there at 5 and take Will Campbell, there's worse picks you can make. I think he's a guard or a center. And I love the physicality he plays with, the strength he has in his frame. He's a good athlete overall. I think he struggles a little bit with, the space play with his lateral agility and his length out at tackle. You plug him inside at guard, you mitigate those issues, or center, and prosper. I think that he's going to be a Pro Bowl interior offensive lineman. So you could certainly do that. That's not the direction I'd probably go. Tyler Booker, if he's there late first, I'd consider trading up. If he's there with your pick in the second round, I'd be sprinting to the podium. He is big. He is physical. He's nasty. He's a leader. He's somebody who I think will be a program changer on an offensive line that will protect your quarterback at an extremely high level with his strength and his length, his hand placement, his grip strength. I think that in the run game, he's just going to move people off the point of attack so easily. Yeah, so Tyler Booker for me, that'd be fantastic at guard out of Alabama. Jonas Avenea, similar situation. He's been playing tackle, so you do get some guard tackle versatility there. You draft Jonas Avenea if you want to have him as your starting right guard and somebody who can also flex out to tackle if there's injuries. I think that's a really attractive option. I mean, there's just not a lot of dudes that have the athleticism that he brings to the table at his size, 330 plus pounds. So Savonnet out of Arizona. Marcus Mbow, he's played across the offensive line for Purdue, played tackle this past year. I think that he's another guy that gives you a lot of flexibility. But I think if you're looking at the center position, Marcus Mbow, the way he moves, he just looks like a center to me. Kind of reminds me of Graham Barton from last year. I think Marcus Mbow, if you're drafting a center, he's my center one in this class. And again, he could probably play some tackle for you as well in a pinch, maybe some guard. So just an unbelievable athlete. The mentality to play center, to get physical, to get nasty, to get on the move. I love it. Wyatt Milam, almost a perfect season for him at left tackle at West Virginia. I don't know that he has the best athleticism to really hang out there at left tackle in the NFL against some of these athletes, but if you want to plug him in at guard, I think he will play at a high level for you. Donovan Jackson out of Ohio State. He's had to play tackle ever since Josh Simmons went down, but he's a guard for sure. He's got really nice hip mobility. Solid football player. I think, so looking at where I'm talking about these, Will Campbell is with your first pick. Maybe you can trade down and get Will Campbell if you want to. And I'm not saying that's what the Jaguars should do. I'm just saying if you're going to acquire Will Campbell, that's how you're going to do it. Tyler Booker, either trade up in the first round or at your first pick in the second round. Jonas Avenea, same range as Tyler Booker. Marcus Mbow, same range, but at center. Wyatt Milam with your second round pick at guard, probably Donovan Jackson. To me, picking him at the top of the second round would be rich, but mid to late second round and the third round, yes. Tate Ratledge at guard out of Georgia. I think if you're taking him mid to late day two, that makes a lot of sense. He doesn't have any like overwhelming physical traits, but he's a pretty good athlete. He's got pretty good strength. I think he has enough length and flexibility. Plays with good pad level. I think he's good in pass pro and in the run game. I think Ratledge is going to be a starter in the NFL. Maybe not like an elite starter, but somebody who you can certainly throw out there and feel comfortable with. And elite OL aesthetic with the tattoo sleeve and the mullet. Tate Ratledge, I'm wearing number 69, right? Jared Wilson at center out of Georgia. He's a really, really good athlete, not a ton of experience. I think if your plan for him would be maybe third or fourth round, and more preferably fourth round, just from a value proposition. And Mitch Morse starting the season for you certainly at center, and then potentially Jared Wilson working in as you continue to develop him, or maybe Mitch Morse is able to play the whole year and Jared Wilson takes over in 2026. There will be other guys to keep an eye on for sure, but those are the guys I wanted to bring up today and talk about. For me, the way I look at this, I would go sign one of Trey Smith or Tevin Jenkins to lock it down at guard. I think that this is a football team, the Jaguars. They have enough cap space to add some free agents that can immediately help them be a contender for the AFC South crown in 2025. I think that should be the goal, bottom line. And then I would, so again, if Trey Smith is out there, I'd go all in for him. I'd bring him in and bring that nastiness. But if not, Tevin Jenkins, I think would be a great option. We mentioned there will be other options, but those are the two options I'd be looking at with the most intrigue. And if you're able to do that, then probably go draft Marcus Mbo to be the center / swing offensive lineman of the future for you there. I think that'd be really exciting. And if you're not able to land one of those top guards, sure, you can definitely go get one of the other guys, but then that wouldn't prevent me from drafting a Tyler Booker or Jonas Avenea or Wyatt Milam, one of these other guys with some pretty high capital, and then trying to find a center as well. So that's kind of how I look at the offensive line. I think the Jaguars have a prime opportunity to really upgrade for the future, protect Trevor Lawrence, create more movement in the run game. They got to coach it up better. They got to block it up better. And the running backs have to do a better job as well. And I wouldn't be against going and adding somebody who looks like that they're more proven with the vision, the patience, the power to run on the interior there. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Don't forget, you can check out genjag.com/shop. Pick up some new Duval gear like the hat I'm wearing right now. Code Duval with 3 U's, DUUUVAL, will get you 50% off on anything at genjag.com today during our winter sale. Y'all have a good one.